We building wealth and wellness for people who serve. If you're trying to build wealth in your coaching business, because I show you how to do it from home, because you're secretly coaching anyway. A lot of times, if you're not well mentally, spiritually, or otherwise, even financial and money trauma, right? You can build all you want. You can have the most thriving consulting, coaching, and speaking business all you want. But if you're not well and rooted and you're rattled, baby, that money gonna come and go. You're gonna be giving out of obligation. You're gonna be giving out of other people crisis and emergency, like you're a crisis worker. And the list goes on and on. But we're not here to state the obvious. We're gonna pick up where we left. For my timekeepers in here, because some of you guys are on your lunch break on the East Coast, or wait, 11, 12, 1, 2. Y'all pass y'all lunch break. So let me put my timer on, and it's going to hold me accountable to be. All right, so we're going to get in here. Y'all going to see me practicing with my timer. We have 30 minutes in. All right, and we're going to pick up where we left off. If you was in here last night, put a 1 in the comments. For some of y'all that wasn't in here last night, let me know. Put a 1 in the comments. Hey, Hector, Walter, put a 1 in the comments if you was with us last night. We're talking about telling no lies in 2026. Not about other people, but the lies I tell myself that really shows up in how I react, how I behave, how I create habit. It's not about other people. It's what I allow, because the version of me that believe that I have to show up or not show up like that is embedded in the lies that I've told myself down through the years. That's what we're unlocking in January. Before some of y'all start adding other things and you believe that the thing that's unresolved is going to disappear because you add other stuff on top of it. All you're doing is suffocating yourself. And the last time I checked, a lot of y'all just like me, you said, look, I need some oxygen. I need some spiritual, mental oxygen like right now. I need rest. I need clarity. I need not do anything more but to be still. Okay, so they went, it's registering over there, Facebook and YouTube. Say hi if you was with us last night. Go ahead and let me bring this over here real quick. Let me know in the comments where you're from. What type of Care Bear are you? I gotta go hard and heavy because some of y'all know way too much and you're not showing up in the way that you know you're supposed to. That's why you can get in a crowded space and know all the right things to say. But is it showing up in your day-to-day is the question. Is it showing up in your day-to-day? Are you okay with doing things alone? All right, so we're finna dive in. Remember, we model our time online. We have our timer on, right? Oh, I don't even. We will not be creeping and dipping into spaces anymore. No more creeping and dipping and sneaking and doing other things. Your containment of squeezing into things that don't fit is over. All right, so share this with a couple of friends that you care about. Whoops. Okay. All right, Prez and Dolores and Arthur and what is that, ID? Welcome on in. All right. So we're going to go over here. Last night we were talking about the lies we tell ourselves and the lies that you're going to break up with in the new year. So let's go over here I want to hit on today because you guys gave me feedback that you know what to do, but you feel like you struggle with letting people down. That's kind of what I've been hearing from Care Bears. And so one of the things we're going to talk about is the signs that you're letting other people pull you off of your God intended direction. Okay. So don't worry about taking notes. Some of you guys are on your lunch. You can go to YouTube. I'm streaming on YouTube live right now under Talk to Tasha on YouTube. You can listen to the replay. But more importantly, don't just listen. Make time, 30 minutes or so, and ask yourself these critical questions. It's just between you and God. Nobody else have to see it. You don't have to put no answers in the comments. It's not about that. Do the internal work now, and you won't have to be on this vicious cycle of repeating things, right? So 4 signs. For some of you guys have talked about this. You talked about it long enough. We have been in activation mode for over a year. Activating bold authority is what we've been on. Don't set that down like it's a phase or a season. It's life. It's the way you breathe, just like self-care. Self-care is not the trip, and then when the trip over, you make yourself believe you got to go back into chaos. You deserve to breathe. You deserve to change your mind when you have more information and do something different. And so let's go ahead and identify some things so you can really start getting excited about the breakthroughs that you've already experienced. And we're on our timer. Right? It's not about likes and shares. Whoever this is for you. All right? So 4 signs you're letting other people pull you off your God-intended direction. Remember, your compass in life is unique for you. You can't squeeze other people in your pathway and vice versa. So if you on here and you feeling guilty for choosing yourself, then that's a sign. Every decision you make for you comes with anxiety and feeling guilty, then that's a sign. If you find yourself over-explaining, you justifying things or you're downplaying your growth, then that's a sign. These are signs. We're talking about 4 signs that you're letting others pull you off your God-intended direction. You're letting them. When you allow people to do stuff, you also have the power and authority that God has placed inside of you to recognize your role in it and do something different. You want to spend 2026 talking about them pulling you, then you can stay stuck if you want to. But you feel guilty for choosing yourself because somewhere on the journey, you don't believe that you're valuable enough. And some people decorate their outer being so much to try to convince themselves that they're worthy, but internally, the truth is still stuck up under the lipstick. And for the fellas, it's stuck up under your hat to the back or whatever, right? So every decision you make, if you always have anxiety and second guessing and third guessing yourself, you over explaining things, justifying things, you downplaying your growth. Well, I don't want people to feel. Baby, you're not in charge of what people feel. Get up out of the business of trying to navigate the feelings of other people. If you're asking for permission for things God already approved, that's a sign that you're letting others pull you off your God-intended direction. And at some point, if you have so many different people pulling at you, and you wondering why you tired and exhausted and can't focus, those are your signs. Because some of y'all got more than 1 or 2 things pulling at you. So you just getting pulled all over. So if you feel guilty for choosing yourself, these are the signs. Every decision I make, I get anxious about speaking it out. Or I over-explain, I downplay my growth to keep other people liking me. You ask permission for things God already approved. He gave it to you already. Good morning, Shorty. Right? So now we want to talk about guilt is not conviction, y'all. Guilt is not conviction. Conviction corrects you. When you feel convicted about something, like if you go off on somebody or you handle stuff prematurely out of panic, right? You want to get stuff off your chest and you have not built that discipline muscle to say, let me remove myself from this situation. Let me get some calm and clarity about myself versus trying to be right in an argument, for example. Okay? So when you have conviction, some of us would do things down through the years there was no conviction. So you keep doing it. These type of people, they dangerous. And for some of y'all, I pray that you don't spend your 2026 trying to understand the fool, because the fool gonna be a fool. Are you sitting up there entertaining the thoughts of a fool, exhausting yourself? You bigger than that. So conviction corrects you. It's that, oh, you know what? I popped off in a way. It don't feel good as you driving home. And the humility inside of you is mature enough to go back and make it right. Sis, I realized that what I said, it didn't hit me well when I was driving home. I want to come back and make this right. Forgive me, right? That's what conviction does. What guilt does is it controls you. Guilt keeps you on a radical cycle of explaining yourself and trying to make up for lost things. So you still overgiving, overcommitting, overcompensating, trying to make up for something you did 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 4 months ago, right? Or some of y'all parents in here, you feel like I'm going to give my kids all the things he or she want because I feel guilty because I have to work 2 jobs right now, right? And understanding half of them probably don't know where their Christmas stuff at now. Here we is, January, whatever day we are. And so we teaching them not to value anything. So that's what overcompensation does under guilt. I feel guilty, so let me give you pretty stuff to give them a temporary fix. And they believe I'm a great parent or amazing grandparent if I give them all of these things. But giving them your heart and your focus in the time that you are off work, it doesn't cost nothing but for you to be self-aware. That, wait a minute, I'm spoon feeding things to people I love and care about because I'm hard on myself and I'm smothering under guilt. If you have adult children or people you've been taking care of and they grown or whatever their situation is, and you making a decision off of guilt and shame, it's going to show up. You over-explaining yourself. You're calling somebody else to see if they ran the information to them. Why are you chasing down foolishness? That time can be pocketed somewhere else. When you're rooted and not rattled people get tossed to and fro. Soon as somebody says something, they're trying to get down to the bottom line, the originator of chaos. So you the coordinator of chaos. Getting down to a bottom of a lie, what is that really going to do for you? Like, be honest with yourself. Like, in what way does that fulfill me? Does it change the way I'm going to react and show up or not in the situation? Probably not. And even if you do, why would you give other people that much control and authority over you to make a decision based on their perception of what it is? You see what I mean? So that's the vicious cycle that we go through. So we have to understand conviction corrects us and guilt controls you. Guilt keeps you on this radical cycle of apologizing for things that God already forgave you for. All right? So how are we going to stand in our truth? Is we're going to stop explaining what God already explained to you. Because your call on your life is not a board meeting with everybody in your family or your spouse or your kids or your job. There's no board meeting with the Lord about the destiny on your life. So you trying to get them to line up with what God already told you. God has given you some convictions about who you shouldn't be kicking it with. As far as the spirit within that person, you know this already. Oh, but they fun. They meeting superficial needs that I have. Okay, so you're making a choice. So you telling yourself that partial little fixes in my life is how I move. And you so used to the crumbs of life is what you're telling yourself. Although they disrespect and spit on me in other ways. But because they feel this little piece of me, aren't you tired of pieces? Aren't you more worthy than a little piece of something? And everything about how you slice yourself up with pieces. You have half committed people in your life on every level. You set it up that way. Your core identity is, I'm just going to take what I can get and call it enough. You're more than that. No is a whole complete sentence. Get out of the business of over explaining and justifying yourself. That's exhausting. That's guilt coming up again. Well, I want them to get an understanding, so let me just listen. You have to understand who you're dealing with. If you're dealing with a fool, their whole mission is not clarity and understanding. Their whole goal is being right. So they successfully wrong as a lifestyle. Let them be successfully wrong and you move forward. Move forward. Don't right or wrong them. This is what it is. That person is not ready to receive the truth for what it is. They don't value your input on it. So why are you going to exhaust yourself with foolishness? No respect to person. Hey, Lisa Taylor. So how we're going to stand in our truth? Peace is your confirmation. Peace is my confirmation. If it's too much mind drama, you know it's not God. You know if it's chaotic and confusion. God is not the author of confusion and riffraff and misunderstanding. That's why when we are growing and we're evolving and we're slowing down to say, wait a minute, before we move forward, let me make sure I understand you correctly, right? Because I'm liable to filter what you said through another filter. And because I love and respect you, I'm going to take my time and fully be present to this conversation. And you might say, hey, business coach in here, you might say, you know what? That's not what I intended, right? Because all we're looking at is getting an understanding and peace and love, not anything other than that. It has to go. Grieve the process. Go ahead and have the funeral now. Because if you don't, sweetheart, you're going to be on this vicious cycle of the test-taking process over and over again. Number 2, 4 signs you're letting others people pull you off your God-intended direction. Let me go over here and check on my folks on the other screen. Okay, they over there. Okay, number 2, you keep shrinking so others don't feel threatened. How many of you guys can relate that you keep shrinking? You keep shrinking. You keep doubting yourself. You make yourself smaller in rooms you've outgrown. You're hiding. And the whole assignment on your life is set up to help other people get free from a situation. But if you're hiding it, you're not cultivating and operating in your gift. And so that's disrespectful to the cause. So if you keep shrinking so others don't feel threatened, back of that word again, feelings. You making yourself be in a position of like a puppet. Somebody over here feeling good. They had a 5, this one had a 2, and you going like this. Trying to, set the thermostat for different people. Some people hormonal, they want cool temperature. Some people anemic, they want a high temperature. There you are in the middle going up and down like this, exhausted. Hey, Vanessa. Right? So these are signs that you are letting others pull you off your God-intended direction. You keep shrinking so others don't feel threatened. These are some signs. You make yourself smaller in rooms you've outgrown. You stop talking about your dreams to keep the peace. If you have lost your fire, your zest, your zeal, you don't feel like creative no more. You used to have all these different ideas, right? And now you feel like, dang, I just feel like Waze. You feel like the whole life energy got sucked out of you, right? These are signs that you're shrinking to keep the peace. And that's not fair for you to do yourself like that. Another sign is you keep shrinking so others don't feel threatened. You feel lonely even when you're surrounded by family. You feel lonely in a crowded room. These are signs. But the truth we're going to shift with, you're not too much. Some of y'all just getting started with the revelation that you have and you broke the limitations off. You need to be rejoicing and celebrating. Lord, thank you that I'm going full throttle, unapologetically. Because 10, 15, 20 years of hiding myself, that shows me why I'm always just in the funk. Some people on different journeys. That's okay. But you can't grow and be developed and cultivated in an environment that contains you and smother you. So you got to make some shifts. If you feel lonely, even when you're surrounded by family or a whole bunch of friends and board meetings and sorority, like your whole network is a lot of people, but the true you still feel lonely, more than likely, hey, April Love and Barbara Wash and Earl, more than likely, you're shrinking so other people don't feel threatened. Let's affirm today and walk in the truth today, because we're telling no lies in 2026. You're not responsible for other people's feelings. We all filter life based on our lived experience. Doesn't mean it's right, wrong, or indifferent. That's why clarity is very, very critical when you are in spaces with people, in friendships and relationships and things like that. Get an understanding from one another, because the way you filter life, you may have a wall up after you've been hurt. So you assume people biting your head off and being pissy at the mouth, because the part of you that try to keep yourself safe, you have a wall up that everybody after you. So they firing off shots. No, if you want to get understanding with help me to understand, because I'm a lifelong student, and sometimes you're the student and the teacher at the same time. When you in spaces where that kind of exchange and dialogue is not a norm, you got to decide what you're going to do with that. It's easy for somebody to say, I love music, April Love, because I just love your name. It's like April Love and the green, amen. And so, can't nobody tell you what you need to do. People not that powerful over you.
If you can't catch your breath,
you got to tell yourself, based on what I know, it's so much heaviness when my truth is on the table, and a lot of explaining and overcommitting and overanalyzing, making myself believe that I'm crazy. You've been going through that for a cool minute. What are you going to do with it? And please don't go write an autobiography and talk about it, because folks is not in the business of reading your stuff because they got their own stuff. Can we get some breakthroughs and some whoop-whoops up in here? Show me how you got through it, step-by-step type of thing. Don't nobody want to buy but baby, nobody in the bit, like, all due respect, what is the intention behind the biography? Show me that there's hope on the other side of that thing. Because just to be reading it, just to be reading, baby, I got my own set of trauma toast up over here. You are a hope dealer by nature. Are you operating in that? So here's what you need to understand. The truth shift. You are not too much, Sister April. You're just no longer available to dysfunction. Dysfunction makes you alert. You're allergic to it. And that's something you do not have to apologize about. You really don't have to announce it. It's just the knowing in your spirit that that's what it is. Because when you're in that space of healing and deliverance, it's not loud. It doesn't have to be loud and announced in ring lights and stuff, right? It's just the knowing in your spirit. Like, it doesn't get you rattled. Remember, we're rooted in Him, in the Lord, not rattled. Rattled people, you throw a nickel at the window and you busting out like roaches, right? It's the knowing. Other people gonna say, wow, April used to be like a spitfire, popping off. The anger, the unresolved anger shows up with spitfire. I'm gonna be in the meeting running my mouth. No solutions, but I dare somebody to come at me in my adult age that I couldn't protect myself over there. Going back to guilt, I'm coming back. I couldn't protect myself at 12, 14 or whatever, but I'll be darned if I'm 20, 30, 40 years old in a meeting and something come up. It's stirring it up. But maturity say, let them be successfully wrong. You're rooted. And you speak when you have something to say, according to what the Spirit is telling you to do. I don't speak because I just want to be bumping my gums. You're not going to give all your intellectual property to these jobs that's having board meetings on how to write you off your job. If you have an insecure supervisor or boss, Why are you expecting him or her to give you a promotion or give you a evaluation? You're going to hold them accountable, because we far from a fool. I can tell you that right now. You don't turn the other cheek just to be turning it and calling it and hiding behind scripture. We don't do that. Y'all got to start making people think, as far as when it comes to your management and they say little things. It's so much power. Help me to understand it. We're not having a drive-through meeting about something that's affecting my life. So when they give you a meeting, April going her evaluation at 9 a.m., Miss Jones is after at 9:30 or 9:20, 9:15. And in the midst of that 30-minute evaluation, they getting calls and emails and saying, I'm sorry, excuse me, April, let me get this call. It's okay for you to dismiss yourself. I've done it many a times. When you are fully present to me, I'm open for you to hit me with an email with another time, because this right here is dysfunction. If that's how you assign and align yourself, doesn't matter what kind of industry you in, they put you on the calendar. Now you extend some grace depending on what it is, but when it comes to y'all evaluation, you too, Miss April, when it comes to your evaluation, these are some pivotal conversations, because you want to grow and develop. You truly do. But you're not going to sit up here and be up under this idea that whatever they say, that must be true. Because some people don't have leadership in them. They don't have no type of light inside of them. They envious of you. They making 2 or 3 times more than you maybe. But the anointing and light on your life, there's some envy there. And you over here like, I'm just trying to get through this, get to my second job and go to the daycare and get my kids. But you're smiling. You might be crying in the car and in the shower, but the light on your life. I have too many people, the valuation is what it is. Well, what kind of questions did you ask them? Are you signing stuff just to be signing it? To keep the peace? Number 2, you keep shrinking so other people don't feel threatened. We're not shrinking. You're going to let people adjust without you shrinking. They got to adjust at their own time. That's not your work. You no longer available to dysfunction on any level. Growth always creates distance before it creates alignment. That's why we said last night, people don't talk about growth feeling lonely. They make it like a cliche, like it's something easy. Baby, this stuff ain't easy, but it's necessary. And that's why I said we have to evaluate, what heart do I want to lean into? The heart of staying stuck, or the heart of doing a tough thing because there's fruit on the other side? I get to choose. You can't rescue your family. They want to stay on this side and keep doing the things. That's just where they are. Never said they was a bad person. Everybody is on a different journey. But when you start going back the other way to keep the peace, that's not peace. That's avoidance. That's conforming. You conforming yet again. So stop dimming your light to manage other people's insecurities. Their insecurities is theirs. Somebody say, it's theirs, not mine. Pray for them and keep it pushing. I found this to be helpful for me. Not sure if it'll be helpful for you, but you might want to consider it. They could say yay or nay, but they also have to know that you are not in the season of listening to all of that mess as a lifestyle anymore. All right? That's number 2. Number 3, we doing good on our time. Number 3, these are signs, you guys, that you're letting others pull you off your God-intended direction. This is a big one for Care Bears. Y'all ready? You confuse loyalty with self-betrayal. You confuse loyalty with self-betrayal. The signs that we see with this is you keep showing up where you're not supported. You keep being overcommitted. The busyness of doing good things, like our bishop says, make sure it's a God thing versus a good thing. This radical, I'm just busy doing. and you keep showing up. No discernment, no Holy Spirit guiding you. You rescuing folks. How can they be delivered if you keep stepping in, intervening? How will they pull it together financially if you keep bailing them out while they spending their money loosely all through the year? You tolerate disrespect because that's family. That's church members. I'm tolerating disrespect. I'm avoiding the tough conversation. And I'm going to hide behind prayer. And you think this issue going to go away just magically without you growing through the most hardest thing for you to do. I don't care how many conferences you go to, how many books you read, how many therapy sofas you lay on right here. You got to be willing to put in the work. You got to trust that what you need to release as your truth is safe and it matters. It don't have to be graded. You feel drained after every interaction, but you keep going back. People texting you in the new year, same old drama. You over there with Sister Cornbread, the same old churchaholic. That was 30 minutes. We're going to build the 15 minutes in. That's our 30-minute marker. 30-minute marker. Go to your timer. And after that, it's done. I love the timer. This is what we teach in the Social Work Boss Academy. The power of your time. So you feel drained after every interaction, but keep going back. So you're telling yourself, I'm committed to people that's not committed to me. I'm committed to brokenness as a lifestyle. I'm committed to the storytelling of my brokenness. Because you know better, but you keep going back. People come in and out your life, but there's no pre-qualifying factors for them to enter back in. You just loosey-goosey. That's not a them thing. That's a you thing. Okay? So loyalty, the shifts that we're looking at is loyalty that costs you your peace. It's not loyalty at all. It's conditioning. You condition yourself to believe that the crumbs of life is the best that you can do. And I'm fearful of releasing my truth because you got to know what that cuz is. Because if you lonely locked in with lies in a crowded room or a crowded family, a huge family, huge social network, but the core person of who I am is not received. So what do? I suppress who I am. We know about suppression. After the containment called the body get full, that's where you see anger outbursts. Because the truth is stacked up under lies that you tell yourself. So how do we stand in our truth? You choose discernment over duty. Discernment guide my steps. Not the duty of, I don't want to let folks down. You better learn how to be obedient. The Spirit is not going to give you something that's going to exhaust you and take you out where you can't carry out the bigger call that's on your life. Boundaries don't mean that you don't love them. It really means that you love them. And the other truth is it means you finally love yourself enough to know that I'm lovable for who I am and not what I do for other people. So these are signs that you're allowing people to pull you back in with their stuff. You confuse loyalty with self-betrayal. I'm loyal to them, even though I'm drowning myself. There's no discernment in that because God is not going to give you something that's going to off you to save them. That's what social workers messed up at. We out here in these heavy, heavy spaces, wanting the best for everyone. They not self-aware, in denial, not ready. Court-ordered classes, going in there falling asleep. And you with your huge heart, staying late, trying to really, really not only sow seed, but you trying to water it and bring about the increase. That person is not in that space. That's not your responsibility. And when you do that at work, you do it in your personal life. Because how we do one thing, we do many things. That's just how the human behavior is set up, right? So once you start elevating and going forward and really trusting and reconditioning yourself to how you show up, amen, you're going to find that the peace of God that surpasses all understanding, like you're going to feel so at home with who you were called to be in the beginning. It's not going to be the crowded faith. That crowded faith. Crowded faith. That's not what we over here about, right? And so the fourth thing that I want us to be aware of, signs that you're getting pulled away from your God intended direction. You feel pulled back every time you try to move forward. These signs show up at every time you level up. There's always a family emergency that appears, and you make yourself believe, there again, hey, Sister Marsha and Apostle, you make yourself believe that a good thing versus a God thing is higher than the God thing. Your works is not going to help you make it in the kingdom. Just because they have a perceived family emergency or a family emergency, you flying across town to a funeral for some, listen. God bless you, Grandma Marsha. Amazing woman of God. So when you feel pulled back every time you try to move forward, the sign, everybody emergency is not yours. And as you're growing in your boundary and your faith muscle and believing God for the whole thing right now, moving forward, if you can't handle the whole story because you're still on the teeter-totter, patty cake, baker's man, bake her a cake as fast as she can, then you got to cut off. You're not that disciplined in that. Y'all know some things hit our heart. My grandmama's in here. You hear something about your grandchild or somebody that's near and dear to your heart, your kids or whatever. If you know that muscle is not there and you're going to automatically go in rescue mode, then why don't you remove yourself from the story until you can build up that faith muscle, that discipline muscle, that rescue muscle, right? But no, now what happened again? You say, now what now? Wait, girl, shut your mouth. They said what? The car got towed. What? This got crisis. This is why a lot of y'all don't feel like you off when you're supposed to be off. Because your nervous system is always on, rescuing. And all of y'all in here are secret life coaches. Coaching people through this and that and the third. What is it going to take for you to coach yourself through based on what you know? If you feel pulled back every time you try to move forward, your progress triggers chaos. Your progress triggers chaos, criticism, and guilt trips. Amen. God be glorified, Sister Marsha. When you feel like you're pulled back every time you try to move forward, remember the enemy don't want you to get out of that, off that sticky trap, like that mouse, that mice, that rat. By the time you getting off of it, he wants to suck you in. He don't pick just random people you don't care about. Let me just bump up with this family emergency. Let me just put up with this trigger chaos. And oh, wow, she got extra space. Let's fill up her space in life. How dare her have peace over there? Move into my chaos real quick. And on these guilt trips, well, I feel bad. Why are you always feeling bad, sis? That means you carry an emotional weight of people you care about. You start doubting yourself again. Right before the breakthrough, you doubting yourself and you go back to the crawdad. The crawdad spirit. As soon as one crawdad come out the bucket, what that other crawdad, pull him down. And you go back to what's familiar. And you back on that vicious cycle. Pissed off, mad, angry. Run into the anger management class. That's great that you're starting somewhere, but the real work is when I walk this thing out. The real work is not believing the lies people say as my truth. You're human, I'm human. It's going to hurt, but it's not going to sting the same way because I'm rooted. Now, I'm not rattled. A rattled person finna fight with fire. And fight the fight that's not yours to prove what they said is wrong. You can't let a fool define how you move. Because starving out distractions is the most power flex that you can ever demonstrate as a sign of maturity. Even when going back to the chaos, you should be allergic to some things by now. The sound of it, the smell of it, the discernment of it. makes you itch. Because a lot of people describe people breakdowns based on what's in front of them. But the internal part of who we are is what drives how we do life. That's why I said, what lies are you telling yourself in 2026? We're telling no lies. And the truth of the matter is, the way my life is set up as a conditioning way of how I do things is based on the core belief and a lie that I vibrate through every day. You can't fool nobody. You can fool some people, but you sure can't fool God. That's a bar, as them kids be saying. Shut up, Grandma Marsha. Grandma to grandma. A bar, girl, we don't even know the Lord is just good. He real good. Girl, like some smothered potatoes. Okay? But you feel pulled back every time. I'm going to pause my life yet again. Because your obedience is going to unlock the next thing for someone else, right? So he tried to put all these little distractions. Girl, please. Let them call you what they call you. But you don't have to answer to it. Let them keep mismanaging their lifestyle as a lifestyle. You pray for them as if it's already broken off. You don't never stop praying for them. But it don't mean you got to put your mouth, your feet all up in the situation. It don't mean that you got to keep pulling up, emotionally pulling up or not. You are here. Naked, you came in here. And naked, we rolling up out of here. So when you start doubting yourself right before the breakthrough, that's because this new version is new to us, but it's not new to God. Y'all notice that, right? You know that. You getting introduced to the version that he had predestined for you. It's new for you because the coordinator of chaos, they say they want better, but they keep on these vicious traps. So the true shift, the enemy often uses familiarity to delay your destiny. We already established that. It's not going to be Karen and them at the office. You can check her real quick and move on and go on to eat your potatoes and be done. But the trap comes with familiar people you love. Hey, Malio and Stephanie. Not everyone can go where God is taking you, and you have to be cool with that. Like there's no board meeting about that. For my control freaks in here, my survival people, you always got to have all of the whole blueprint of life before you can make a decision. Oh, yeah. Baby, you getting stressed like the rest of us. And when you start realizing as a Black woman, for y'all brown women in here, I don't know who in here, but I speak to my Black women because I'm a Black woman up over here. And just because we Black all the way around, it don't mean we all the same, but there are some universal truths for us as a people. There's a universal truth for those in the body. There's a universal truth for women in general, right? And if you're going to hold up what God has for you based on somebody need to look like you, smell like you, be in the same state of you, have 2 or 3 marriages later like you, baby, you're going to miss your blessing every time. Because here you go trying to package up what God needs to spoon feed to you. Baby, you not that. Listen, free yourself up, control freak. How you waiting on the whole man to come up over there and ring you up and you don't know how to release control? Because a real one ain't gonna let you punk him like that. I know you have to survive and control and have all the moving pieces. But a man that findeth the wife finds a good thing, not a controlling thing, not a thing that make you believe that he's a robot and he has to vibrate when you want to. Some of this stuff gonna get cut off of you. And you got to be good with that without arguing. And going to your raggedy friend, I'm just going to call it what it is. You're going to these raggedy friends. I'm not going to call them raggedy, but the spirit within them is raggedy. They giving you ill counsel, got their feet all the way crossed. And soon as you turn your head, they'll be laid up with your situation. How you going to really talk to these 20 and millennial kids and give them wise counsel? And you over there 50, 60 or whatever years old, operating like you a whole teeny bopper. Somebody got to press you. I don't care if you don't talk to me for 10 years because you mad good, because the dead way you have to go anyway. Out of love for you, you shouldn't be okay with holding people like, I'm going to talk about it to Aunt Marsha when she leaves. No, we grown. You don't have to announce that in the audience at the house, but pull her to the side. This is on my spirit. She don't have to come to your house like that. She don't have to come on your text message like that. Because again, if you feel pulled back every time you try to move forward, then you allowing people to pull you off the direction God has for you. We all grown. And God is calling up these babies. Y'all see how God moving on these young people? Because we hard-headed. And some of y'all too proud to see that God is using them in your family to pour into you. If you don't block it, oh, they young. No, God used them as an example like he did in the Bible, right? But how do you stand in your truth when you pull back every time for y'all crisis workers in here? Okay? You're burning your superwoman cape for real this time. You're going to stop responding to every emotional pull. I'm going to stop responding to every emotional pull. And some of us got to practice that. The carrier of the drama, sis, I'm not doing that. They texting you, their name speaks drama and heaviness. You so bored, so let me see what the tea is. Girl, you too grown for that. God healed you and healed me. What is your covenant, your agreement, your repentance? Lord, you got me out of some of y'all chemo. Cancer is just not cancer as we know it. It's a cell that's eating up at you. And we have way too many smart, anointed, amazing human beings around us. But we want to keep catastrophizing about what the said behavior is on the outside. But nobody, and I'm going to speak through this lens of child welfare, nobody is holding anybody accountable in the family. Y'all rallying behind their backs and gossiping. And then going to end with a superficial prayer to make yourself feel right. And that's our time. We did 45 minutes. We did 45 minutes. For some of y'all, we did 30 minutes. And then we did 15 minutes. 45. How many is that? 45. How much is a whole hour? Another 15 minutes? That's our 60-minute time. We did 30 minutes. Got it done. I built in another 15 minutes. That's 45 minutes. The last 15 minutes, that's our hour. That is it. That is it. It's time out for you being motivated. That warms up the car, but baby, you can't get through this thing called life off motivation. Get your butt up and do like sis said yesterday. She changed her TikTok page name. Business life coach, period. She looking for people. Online intentional, letting people know you have options. If not me, somebody, be led. She took action. She's not sitting up waiting on her back to stop hurting and her cramps. But you got time to be in people's rooms talking about riffraff? No, if I'm going to be on here having a good time and connecting with people, lip syncing, doing big, just building solid community, I'm definitely not going to harm you. And you got to be built for it because the riffraff is online. If you temperamental and they start calling you fat and all of that, baby, and you run off with your gift, then you better really, really, really be critically clear. Did God really send me? Because he's going to equip you and anoint you for when it gets sticky. You don't run up under the pillows of life. Well, wait till social media calm down. Baby, it's not going to calm down till you take your beautiful self and your gift and come disrupt the noise like he got me doing. And how I'm teaching the ladies in Social Worker Boss Academy to do. Because anything that we do is not going to come easy. That the world is out here trying to give you 5 steps on having an easy, simple, soft life. Okay, you go ahead and take the class. That's fine. But what happened when real life situations pop off? And for some of y'all that run to the doctor need a pill for everything. The panic and the pill is all in one. Then what? That's real life. You think that you can't get into your doctor because you're running out of panic. And the whole thing is God wants you to rely on him. That's why the doctor is booked up until February. Because you're going to deal with this pain like I equip you to and quit running like everybody else doing. And you want to judge the young people for what they smoking. You smoking doubt ain't no different than them on their black and mild. So quit judging folks. You over here, the plumber pulling up and knocking your boots and you ain't listen, child, we got things we could talk about. But at some point, you got to say, I'm not going to get pulled back every time I try to move forward. Not everyone can go where God is taking me. And it's no respect to person. Quit compartmentalizing people. The spirit within the person It's universally across the board. They cutting up in your house, your niece, nephew, job, spouse, whatever. Is no respect of person. The spirit within these individuals that's been broken off of you, and you go kick it with Nene and Bebe Nim. What's better, familiar chaos or unfamiliar chaos? You got to decide. So you're going to stop responding to every emotional pull. You're not that bored to sit up and entertain the thoughts of a fool as a lifestyle. You're going to pause before you rescue. That holy pause, you know, that text and you like, ooh. Y'all know, y'all hear these phones going on. You got a group of friends in the chat, they're giving you everything that's going on in politics. You got a group of friends that got the jokes going on to make you laugh, right? You got some that can talk business all night long. You got the prayer warriors, right? And you trying to juggle all of that. How do I stand in this truth? I'm going to pause before I rescue, because this might be my season where my muscle is being built and developed. I'm not going to sit with people that talk about their aches and pains all day, because that just drives me insane. I'm not going to rescue somebody and suffocate myself anymore. What is your stance? If you don't know, Lord, show me. Why am I rushing into this new season with residue of yesterday still? Why am I still connected to people that don't show up? If they don't show up for themselves, sweetheart, how can you expect them to show up for you? People are trying to unalive themselves getting on the freeway with their kids in the car before they give you a right of way on the freeway. Have y'all noticed? They rather to put themselves and their kids at risk before they let you on the freeway. What does that tell you about individuals that get out like that? You shouldn't be surprised. If they can off themselves, why are you surprised that they don't pull through for you? And let's ask ourselves this, because we're winding down. We only got 9 minutes. Ask yourself, as we stand in the truth, is this mine to carry, or am I being pulled back to what we talked about, the crawdads? Last night, we talked about how the body truly keeps score and how trauma is stored in our joints, our backs, the crease and crevices of our joints. And the body is carrying stuff because we talked about telling no lies, right? And we talked about how the lie is suffocating inside of us. And when the container called a machine, I'm rubbing on myself. I give myself hugs, right? And so when the body can't hold anymore, it starts to, as you hear us talk about, somatically shows up in our health because there's no more room. We also talked about some of you guys are not at a point where you feel like, you know, you can't express your truth to the people you love without getting angry and then turning it into something else. So we talked about getting it out through that country road. Some of y'all getting off work tonight, don't take the freeway. Take the lone country road. Take a unfamiliar road, right? Turn the radio off. Play something instrumental. Sometimes I go through a phase, I don't want to hear lyrics. Sometimes I just want to hear the wind blowing through the window. What are you in the rush to get through traffic for anyway? Right? This is a way that you decompress. All of y'all in service-based work, whether you're working from home, you babysitting people, kids, any type of human suffering or anything that you're called to do, you have to condition yourself to decompress. That don't mean when you on the freeway. My LA people, I have a best friend. She in that traffic, it take her 2 hours or so to get back to Lakewood. And we usually, depending on the Friday that we got going on, we catching up on stuff. And she preoccupied with her smart car through the speakers and all that. But we only get together like that every quarter. Or if it's something pressing that we really need each other, we might call each other. But I already know when she in that LA traffic, we get a lot done because when she get out the car, she got to be fully present to her little people. She don't want to not see her kids all day. And then when she get in the house, her kids get the leftover energy of herself. And then she partially present because she on the phone with me. We don't do that. Let's get it out while you in the car. Let's laugh, chuckle, do whatever. We also have this whole rule that we have each other calendar. If her baby gonna graduate or, different milestones for 2026, we have each other calendar. So we know what we can commit to. She also know if I can't make it physically, it doesn't mean that I don't love her no less. And we go vice versa, right? Some of you guys, you get committed to the unorganized person, the person that's doing the 10,000 things. You scratching your head on how many people you could support on one weekend, a baby shower, a bridal shower, a funeral. Then you going over here giving this person 10 minutes of your time. That's not faithfulness and commitment. That's obligation and bondage. They know that they're going to have stuff. Your job is not to organize them. It's to honor that, you know what? I'm not going to operate in chaos no more. I'm going to ask myself, am I carrying their stuff because I want them to mark it off in the book that I'm supportive? You bigger than that. Okay? We have 5 minutes and 56 seconds. You see how the Lord allow us to use our 60 minutes in a time, and we're going to honor our rest and our focus. So stop responding to every emotional pull. If you have family, friends, people you love and adore, tell them the truth. Sis, I'm going in a different direction. And quit taking them with you. Let them go their own way. Y'all keep inviting the same nagging, draining spirits to your circle, and you can't be fruitful because you over here trying to focus on your growth, and then you carrying them. Everybody hunger and growth is on different levels. Take it in for you this time. You're going to pause before you rescue folks, and you're going to ask, is this mine to carry? Or am I being pulled back to what's familiar? Okay, because some of y'all, the first in the family, you breaking off cycles, and you have to understand this was predestined for your life. So there's no need for you to feel bad about it. And this is how we're going to stop compromising our truth. Stop negotiating with people who benefit from you staying stuck. Oh, that's good. Let me go check on our YouTube people. Talk to Tasha on YouTube for the replay. For the replay, go over to Talk to Tasha on YouTube, the number 2. You'll get the replay. We're streaming over there and Facebook. Facebook be trying to drop the lies after 30 days. Ain't nobody gonna ever put your eggs in one basket. We don't do that. But this is how you're going to stop compromising your truth in a real way. We know all of this stuff, sisters and brothers. We know this. But the difference between your consistency and showing up for yourself, not the busyness, not the trying to prove that you something somebody said you weren't. Because remember, we're not over here trying to do performance-based praise. But I'm going to stop negotiating with people who benefit from me staying stuck. That's why they scrounging around and talking and gossiping and doing the things, because they are having a hard time that you're growing. They're benefiting from you staying stuck and bailing them out on all levels. So stop negotiating that. I'm cool as long as I'm bailing you out emotionally, on the phone with you all night, problem solving, your hair falling out, you insomniac, eyes busting out. Soon as your car break, they got 3 cars. They're not trying to throw you no keys. They're not trying, all of that. We can make it about them all day long. That's the easy route. But we said 2026, Sister Marsha, tell no lies, starting with myself. I am going to stop negotiating with people who benefit from me staying stuck. Marsha is a grandma now. She got promoted just like me. You didn't know what you didn't know as a parent. We keep growing and evolving in this life. So I'm sure she's starting off on a whole different playing field as a grandmother, because we know a little bit more. You don't have to go back and recover guilt and shame for what we didn't know when we was young parents, right? Forgiveness, acknowledgement, and we're moving forward. You're going to stop explaining your healing to people committed to your harm. That's why they say, oh, I remember Marsha when she was whoop-de-whoop. They're going to remember the part of you that was the welfare to work mom. They're not going to remember that they creeping and watching you on live in the living room or at home in the chair as the welfare to work mom, while they over there in some dried up meetings with their master's and doctorate degrees and wondering how the welfare to work mom sitting over here brawling. I'm a mess, right? Don't look down. I'm going to do like this. Y'all don't need with the moo-moo on. Let's just put it like that. right? But it's not about all of that. It's really not. You're not doing anything to prove anything. You're doing things out of obedience. So we're going to stop explaining your healing to people committed to your harm, committed to you overcommitting, committed to you making a decision for yourself. Because people will spend your check for you. You're doing this for that grandkid and you're not doing it this. You're doing it for this child. You know the drama. Say ouch when we can't say amen, right? Committed to the drama. Last time I checked, your retirement check is in your name. Last time I checked, you got up with arthritis, cramps, the whole nine, right? So we're not going to be explaining anything anymore. Remember we said silence is amazing. We down to 1 minute. Stop calling exhaustion love. Exhaustion is not love. Exhaustion is exhaustion. And stop calling fear wisdom. Truth requires courage and consensus. Show enough, show enough. And let me speed through this part. We're almost there, y'all. We almost there. We doing good. Put a 1 in the comment if you're the first in the family. We're almost there. We finna bring it home. Put a 1 if you're the first in the family on any level and you know. It ain't about what you are the first in the family doing. But put a 1 in the comment if you can say, Tasha, I know that I'm called for a specific thing or things. And I'm the first in the family because there's no blueprint that was handed to me. You're figuring it out with the guidance of God, even on your worst day. Put a 1 in the comment because we're going to end with that. All right. Let me go over here and check on my folks. And I hope you know that age is nothing but a number. As you see me navigating screens, learning, I go on YouTube and I teach myself a few things. That is it. I'm not mastering all of these different moving pieces, baby, because I'm not going to stress out. You show up with what you're anointed to do, and God will bring about the increase. That is it, and that is all. So if I can get on here and press a button, I told y'all earlier, I'm not going to get into no editing 2026. I'm not having the ladies edit nothing. It's just going to be what it is, because I'm after the person that's willing and ready to read the whole thing. That's something our parents taught us, to read and think for yourself. If a person want to speed read because they have adult ADHD self-diagnosed and they just skimming through things, these people is the ones that pay you to read the whole thing. Catch it in y'all spirit. Because you have the same notes in class of life like me. But the next person wanted spoon-fed. That's a whole business in coaching. I'm going to tell y'all that when y'all come on the inside. So like I told them, I'm not shortcutting nothing. If anything was given to me and it happened to be 2 paragraphs and they brain won't allow them to read the 2 paragraphs, that is on them. Because the answer to what they need, whether it's the scripture, you only reading the 1 line and you don't want to, ADHD, you signing up for all of that don't have nothing to do with me. Because people who pay attention. You're not finna jump on to the anxiety-stricken mind when you got your own anxiety going on, and you finna stop operating with these self-diagnoses. Giving yourself permission to hide up under fear is all it is. So this is why you was in night school taking the same notes and they leaning over to you. Well, what did the teacher say? Top dog, you getting your degree just like me. And this can be applicable to anything in life. The degree in life. I got the lesson. You did too. Oh, but you want to be sleeping, preoccupied with 5,000, 10,000 things. Go ahead and hit that link and let me show you some things since you don't want to pay attention. Let me spoon feed it to you. That's a whole business. That is why people go through drive-thrus. You don't want to cook. You want to leverage your time. This is why people go to the dry cleaner and so forth and so on. So don't act like you don't have a coaching business inside of you. Don't do that because you're playing yourself. All right, so the first in the family, we're going to land this plane. All right, we're going to land this plane. So we already talked about we're going to stop compromising our truth, and we're going to stop negotiating with people who benefit from you staying stuck. That's just the bottom line. Some of these new habits that you are creating and God is breaking some things off of you, you're going to have to be patient. Because habit takes consistency. Consistency, you have to have a regimen that's going to work. That's why you see us with the timer. That's habit, right? It don't matter if 10,000 people, it don't matter about numbers. It's obedience is what it is. So for y'all first in the family, as we have 39 seconds, and they'll probably go over a few, but I want to end with this. To the woman who's the first in her family, first of all, you're not crazy. You're not lazy. You're not ungrateful. And you're not abandoning. Listen to me clearly. You're not abandoning anyone. You're operating obedience now, and it feels like abandonment until you get used to the version of you God intended from your mama's womb. You're the cycle breaker. And that assignment is lonely at times. Don't let nobody tell you no different. It can feel lonely. You see our timer? That's our whole 60 minutes. And we're going to stop it, and we're going to honor it. And I'm going to give you these 3 little things, and we're going to be done. Signs that you're the first, Sister Marsha, because you put a 1. You think differently than your family. You feel called to more, but can't explain it. Your growth makes others uncomfortable. You're the helper, the fixer, the strong one. You're punished for changing instead of celebrating. You feel drained and not poured into. That's not a flaw. That's a calling. And that's why if you still going to the nest expecting them to give you what they don't have, that's a delusion. They don't have capacity to give you what you need, right? So instead of you looking at your family as a whole jacked up situation, make sure they parked in the right place in your life, because they might be good at something and fulfilling in one area, but the part that you want them to fill, they may not have capacity. Okay? They don't have capacity. And some of y'all be like, well, they do it for the other people. They do it for this or that. It's levels to that. We'll talk about that in our class. But quit overanalyzing it. They showing up with what they have, and that's just what it is. Some of y'all write people completely off. But you have for over 2 years now. Somebody you have for over 2 years now. What do you mean? You were not sent to save your family. My first in the fam in here. You were not sent to save your family. That's God's job. And we moving in our timetable.
It's called a home equity agreement. And I got
You were sent to show what's possible. You just entertain this before we log off. You were sent to show what's possible. Sometimes loving them, Sister Marsha, means choosing distance. Even if y'all in the same address. Choosing silence. Choosing yourself. Getting yourself out the house a few days a week. To be with yourself. To experience something new for you. Speaking less on situations. And they like, wow, she usually pop off. We're not popping off in 2026 for the sake of popping off. Because I don't know how to regulate when I have negative emotions. I'm grown, remember? And so grown people don't hoard their emotions to keep other people safe. You giving yourself permission to unlock your truth. It's not about if they receive it, they're going to know where you stand. And then you get to choose what the said consequence is going to be when people demonstrate to you that they're not willing to shift. You get to do that, not them. Because it's not their urgency. They're going to keep showing up because there's no consequence. There's no value added to their life because you keep showing up talking mess. You have conditioned them that, yes, she's going to talk mess, but at the end, we still get what we want. So you were sent to show what's possible in your DNA. And that does not make you selfish. It makes you self-full. I'm filling myself up with the word. I'm filling myself up with wisdom and discernment. I'm doing things because it's the right thing that I feel led to do. And I'm not doing things because I'm trying to make up for things that I wasn't able to do over there. It makes you obedient. So stop lying about being okay. Stop lying about who drains you for real. Stop lying about what God is asking you to release. Quit lying. You done clap with the tambourine long enough. Save this. Sit in it. And don't ignore what just hit your spirit on today. For some of y'all that want to go higher, on the 19th, which is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, I have a free masterclass. Micro masterclass is what I'm doing for y'all brains, because we get micro wins. And you're going to take that and we're going to build on it. On the 19th, this is the link you're going to hit. It's free. You have to decide. The link is, y'all take a screenshot of this. Wait, hold on. Let me put it in it's bit.ly/DSide26. Let me put it in the comments for them. That's our final. So we did 60 minutes and 5 minutes. That's our final clock. God is good, right? So that's our last final minutes, 5 minutes. And we're done. We're done. We did 60 minutes with the bonus 5. So our free complimentary, this is the link, bit.ly/decide, because we're making a decision, 26. Once we fill it up, it's all about our mindset. bit.ly/decide26. Make sure you come fully present. Make sure you come with an ink pen, because we have some unpacking to do. All right. Did y'all get that link? Hey, Janet, bit.ly/decide. And I can show you guys over here so you can get a screenshot. I'm going to bring it up